Shalom, family. This is Tovia Mikhael, and you are with the Roots Reclaim, Voices of the Remnant, and backed by popular demand, Jesus and the Bronze Serpent. However, this time I will acknowledge the statements brought to me as the challenge that I did tell people to pursue, and you guys brought to me revelations. Well, I hope you guys are prepared. This is Jesus and the Bronze Serpent, Part 2, Revelation on Trial. All right. Welcome. Tonight, we do Part 2, Revelation on Trial. I want to start off by saying this research trajectory has been accepted for presentation at the 2026 Society of Biblical Literature International meeting in the Biblical Hebrew Language and Linguistics section. This paper that I have presented, deals with anachronisms, loanwords, and redactional stratification. Why do I even mention this, though? It's because this is a methodology, okay? All right? This is philological distinction, lexical precision, textual layering, no devotional rhetoric. We are examining how symbols move and what happens when they collapse. Okay? And I hope you guys support me. My book, I should be in Australia in July. So, I'm honored, grateful, thankful. But let's get to this topic. Revelation on trial. Let's begin. Revelations, chapter 12, verse 9. The ancient serpent, who is called the devil and Satan. Most debates end right here. Well, see, the devil is Satan. But the question is not whether Revelation says this. The question is whether Revelation defines the serpent or reinterprets it. Let's begin. Textual priority matters. Interpretive order matters. Torah comes first. Prophets interpret Torah. Writings reflect on both. Apocalypse comes last. Chronology determines priority. This is not bias. It is textual sequence. Torah versus Apocalypse. Torah is Hebrew, legal, covenant-bound, symbolically restrained. Revelation is Greek, late, visionary, crisis literature. You do not interpret covenantal law through crisis literature. Apocalypse explains catastrophe. Torah, though, establishes boundaries. Let us see. The ancient Near East serpent ecosystem. In the ancient Near East, serpent is not one idea. It is a taxonomy. Iliyunka, Lotan, Leviathan traditions, storm god opponents, chaos imagery. Then the Egyptian Uranus, royal, it's protective, life symbol. Already the equation of serpent equals Satan collapses. Let's take a visual and look at some of these. This is the chaos serpent, Iliyunka, or Lotan. Let's look at the actual artifact, dated to around 2000 BCE or no later. No earlier than 2000. No earlier than 2000 BCE, so it could have been before, basically. But as you can see, the serpent, right? Let's continue. The royal serpent, dated around 945 BCE, as you can see. Then we got the deity, the nāḥāš, with two serpents coiling around an axle rod dating from before 2000 BCE. Nāḥāš. So as we can see, this serpent is all throughout the ancient Near East. Torah distinctions. Serpent is a category, not a definition. Torah uses nāḥāš carefully. Genesis 3, testing. Numbers 21, judgment and healing. 2 Kings 18, destruction as idolatry. Torah never mythologizes the serpent. It uses it pedagogically. It is a covenant stress test, and it is never permanent. Let us continue. Paul, on the other hand, has a methodology. Paul reasons within Second Temple midrash. Gezerah Shava, Binyan Av, Al-Tikri. This is Jewish interpretive logic, but midrash is not legal amendment. It extends, it reframes. Torah governs obedience. Paul was a Second Temple midrashist. He used Gezerah Shava in the sense of just as the serpent did not reveal its deception, so the evil one blinds another's mind. But he's getting these things from the Testament of Dan, Wisdom of Solomon, Binyan Av. Evil appeared in the form of a serpent in the garden, so it did again in various forms. Lives of the Prophets. Al-Tikri. Satan is another name for a serpent. In the LXX, Deuteronomy, Jubilees. Let's continue. Eve and the serpent in 2 Corinthians 11:3. We already looked at Eve and understood the term nāḥāš for serpent there in Genesis, and hishinani for deceive me. Okay? So we understood that the verb was the deception, that was what the serpent had done, nāḥāš. But Paul in 2 Corinthians 11:3 says, "But I am afraid that just as the serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your words may be led astray from a sincere and pure devotion to Christ." Interesting. Paul used midrash. So to him, Lotan is more than just a sea creature. Nāḥāš is more than just a deceiver. And Eden conceals and reveals an unseen realm. This is midrash. Okay? This is midrash. But why do I show you this? Let's continue. Paul adapts Second Temple midrash. Once again, 1 Corinthians 2, 6 and 8. Yet among the mature we do impart wisdom, although it is not a wisdom of this age or of the rulers of this age, who are doomed to pass away. They crucified the Lord of glory. So this is his statement about Christ's crucifixion. But what we understand here is he uses rulers, right, as demons, not earthly leaders. And we get these from the Wisdom of Solomon, Testament of Levi, and 1 Enoch. Let's look how the midrash stretches Torah. Eat it. Deuteronomy chapter 30 versus Romans 10. Deuteronomy 30, Torah is near. Torah is doable. Obedience is central. But in Romans, the text gets reassigned. The function shifts, and Christ is centered for that obedience. Let us continue. Deuteronomy 21, verse Galatians 3. Deuteronomy 21, hanging is a curse and shame. Galatians 3, curse becomes redemptive mechanism. The move is powerful, but it is midrashic, not legislative. Let us continue. Numbers 21, nāḥāš. Same lexical root as Genesis. Healing comes through confrontation with judgment. But let's see what happens next. When it collapses, 2 Kings 18:4, nāḥāš, incense, cultic elevation, and then Hezekiah destroys it. And he is praised. Permission does not mean permanence. That is the lesson. Revelations, fusion. Revelation 12:9, sorry for the misspelling in the Hebrew, but Revelations 12:9, Genesis nāḥāš. Then we have the chaos, tannîn. The accuser role is Satan. Torah keeps these categories distinct, but Revelations collapses them. Okay? Midrash verse apocalypse. Midrash stretches symbols. Apocalypse freezes them. Testing requires ambiguity. Okay? Revelations removes said ambiguity. Let's continue. Once again, we spoke about the Qumran silence. Qumran never elevates the bronze serpent as a redemptive typology. Rabbinic tradition praises its destruction. The Mishnah says, it is not the serpent that healed. That silence is restraint. Let us continue. Shiloh. Ark was treated as a weapon. The symbol replaced obedience, and then the sanctuary collapses. Let us continue. The first temple. Jeremiah chapter 7. Do not trust in deceptive words. The temple of Yah. Absolutized symbol, the temple of Yah. And then judgment followed. And the first temple was destroyed. But let's look at something very interesting real quick. Daniel had a pattern. Daniel explains destruction through covenant casualty. Revelation explains destruction through adversarial fusion. One disciplines symbols, the other resolves them, right? So, if that is the case, let's look at this pattern. Desolation follows transgression, Daniel 8:13, Daniel 9:27. Internal corruption precedes collapse, Daniel 8:23, Daniel 11:14. And then foreign invasion completes covenant failure, Daniel 8:24, Daniel 11:31. Let's continue. covenant, collapse, flow. All right. Deuteronomy, Daniel, and then temple destruction. Let's see. Deuteronomy 28 establishes this pattern. Transgression, curse, desolation, foreign domination, and then Daniel 9 explicitly cites the Torah of Moses. Collapse is covenantal consequence, not a cosmic accident. Okay? All right. This lexical echo from Deuteronomy 28 to Daniel 9. All right. Deuteronomy 28, the transgression, pasha. All right. Blessings and curses. Right. In Deuteronomy, covenantal violation. All right. Devastation will occur. In Daniel, he speaks of the legal continuity, what actually occurs, not a symbolic innovation. This is something that is written within the lexical and grammar structure of the Hebrew biblical Hebrew. Let's continue. So, with that being stated, Daniel is bilingual. He speaks Aramaic and Hebrew, right? And he writes in Aramaic and Hebrew. But particularly, the Aramaic is imperial beasts and sovereignty that he's speaking of. And in the Hebrew, it is covenant, confession, and restoration that he speaks of. As we see in the Hebrew, in Daniel 9, he says, all Israel transgressed your Torah. The curse was poured upon us. This is Deuteronomic vocabulary. Daniel indicts covenant breach before describing empire at all. This is meticulous. Let us continue. Now, let's look at the pattern. Second temple, John 2:19. Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. The temple, has it become idolatrous? Let's look. Covenant, symbol, absolutism, the collapse, Shiloh, the first temple, the bronze serpent, then the second temple. Is this a pattern? Let's look and see. Let's pay attention one more time. Shiloh fell. The first temple fell. The bronze serpent was destroyed. The second temple fell. Not because symbols are evil, but because when symbols replace obedience, they destabilize covenantal life. So the real question is not, is the serpent Satan? The real question is, does Revelations restore Torah boundaries or reinterpret collapse through fusion?